Hey Golf Gang, and welcome back to a Path of Exile video concentrating on Heist, builds and all things Heist. Today I'm going to go through the results of my testing with the low-level endless Heist build. And yeah, so on screen you can see the path of building I've got up here, and I've spent many hours, days and about 10 exalts testing various gem setups, tree setups, gear setups, and I believe for the purposes of what this build is entitled to, this is the best way of doing it. So this is a ranger, eventually becomes a raider. The reason for raider is because you've got the permanent phasing and onslaught. There are other builds that could probably do this, but for purposes of sticking to a low level, i.e. 59, and with the gear available and with the defences available, I believe this is the best way of doing it. It's not the only way, I just think it's the best way. So this is in the path of building, which I'll share below. We've got where your tree should be at various acts, where the changes are. And Act 5 we go do normal lab, or Act 4 to 5 we go do normal lab, and then we come through to Act 6, 7 and 8, and then from Act 8 you go into Act 9 and 10, but at that point you are kind of gearing up for this. So once you get to Act 8, that's where you'll be with 70 passive points, and at the endless heist point you've gone all the way to the end of Act 10 but have not killed Act 10 Katava. You can go and get the staff and give it back to Innocence. He'll open the access port to canals. You can go and grind in there to get your XP, so you can go and do Merc Lab, because we do normal lab to get rapid assault, crawl lab to get quartz infusion, and then Merc Lab to get avatar of the chase. We don't do Uber Lab because this character never hits maps. And then we don't kill Act 10 Katava. We then D-level using the Scroll of Wisdom and Scouring Orb. One Scroll of Wisdom, one Scour Orb. You sell those to a vendor, you get a Book of Regression, and that takes you down to the down one level and 0 XP of that level. Hopefully you've been following my advice from other videos and been going to the Rogue Harbour and buying all the contracts from the person that sells the contracts, or as many contracts as you can get as you're leveling up. A lot of this guide is based on whether you're doing it in League style or SSF or trade. This is kind of set up for trade, softcore trade. I don't believe this has enough defense to do hardcore, and in SSF you would have to do a lot of farming to get the uniques. You can do this on League Start, but it'll take you longer to get the gear. However, you do make a ton of money. I did a League Start variant of this at 3.17, and I ended up with about 3 exalts at the end of day 3. 3 exalts, a couple hundred chaos, loads of various currency and uniques, leveling uniques. And I was able to pick up a level 1 Enlighten for 30C, 20 quality tip myself, and that was on about halfway through day 2. So, and now a level 1 uncorrupted Enlighten is worth about 3x. So you can do it in League Start. I'll go through all the things in this video, all the options, but primarily this is set up for Trade League Softcore, either doing it as a League style or kind of round about the end of week 1 maybe, where you've done all your map, you've unlocked your atlas, and you just want some base currency to filter through, or you want to farm out some cheap rogue markers you don't want to buy yourself from TFT. There's options. I do have a soda on the go for a drink. I've just had lunch. Right, so that's where we are at the Endless Heist, League Start scenario. So we click over to the skills. This matches the tree we've just been looking at. Endless Hide League Start. So we've got a 5 link weapon. 4-link helm, 5-link body, 4-link gloves, 4-link boots. Just turn those off. Okay, right. So that's your setup there. Now, if you're using Bella Mage's filters, then you will have full 4 links before you hit Act 6, the start of Act 6. You may even have dropped a 5-link at League start. If you're in trade, you will have 6 links by then point if you are not doing League start. So if you're doing non-League start, you want to be following this setup down here, end goal, same with the tree, but I'll go into that in a moment. Item wise, click over here, go to Endless Heist. So whether you're doing, if you're doing League start, this is the gear you want to be following. The Endless Heist gear, we're looking for a 5-link quill rain. Ideally, there is no other 5-link bow out there that'll compare to a quill rain. I've tested them, there isn't. You want the Hero's Bite, you can do yourself with the recipe, which is a rare onyx amulet, a orb of chance, a normal shark tooth quiver, and a rain of arrows with a 1% quality on it. So yeah, you can find those in Valtide areas, or you just set your filter up to look for low quality gems and get enough, sell them to a vendor to get GCP, buy a rain of arrows from the vendor, quality up yourself, job done. You want to be buying a rat's nest. We get this because it's got 10% increased movement speed, and it's also got the increased rarity of items found, which affects the mobs in Heist, which means we're getting more NPC gear, and it's got attack speed, which is awesome. The body armor is just a 4 or 5-link rare chest with resists, life is the barest minimums. I've only put resists on gear just to get us up to plus chaos res and 75 cap. It doesn't matter where your resists sit on this League start environment. It doesn't matter as long as you cap out 75 and get any plus chaos resist. That's what you're looking for. Same with the gloves, life, resists, job done. Boots, this is set up with lionized paws boots to trigger the level 5 rain of arrows when you attack with a bow, and it's also got a decent 20% increased movement speed on there. We then buff that rain of arrows with the utility gem for boots, which is Despair, Hex Touch, life gain on hit, and Withering Touch. So Withering Touch, life gain on hit will affect as soon as the rain of arrows hit. Hex Touch will proc from the rain of arrows, and then Despair will hit. It does work. Sometimes it doesn't show linked as working in POB, but it does work. I've done the testing. Life gain on hit from those rain of arrows is practically our only life gain other than potions. We have no life regen. And then of course we go for the 2 Hope of Alls. On League start, it doesn't matter what they roll. You're looking basically to cap your resists and get attributes on them. The more currency you have to buy them, great, get a better one. It will serve you long term. Or just buy whichever one comes up on the market just so you have them. You'll need the attributes. The belt, again, a leather belt for the life, and then the rolls, life and resist, whichever resist you're missing. Flasks, life flask, and then Beastcraft corrupted bleeding immunity on there, which comes with corrupted blood. The reason we do that is there's very few mobs in Heist that will actually bleed, but when you do find a mob, it's usually a rare mob and 3 or 4 accompanying guards of that rare mod, and you'll stack up to 10 really quickly. With our movement, although it's not great, but you've got phase run on top of that, you can easily die quite quickly if you're not quick hot on, if you don't have a bleed flask. Quicksilver flask, at this juncture, the first one you get from the quest in Act 1 will do you. If you later find one that's got an eye level, I think it's got to be over 17 to run extra movement speed, then do that, keep that one and roll that one. This can just be thrown, sold, whatever. Excuse me. And then from the quest rewards in the game, you can get a granite flask, a jade flask, and a stibnite flask. And then roll them, beastcraft them. We are looking for immunity to freeze and chill on one of them, ignite and burning on the other, and then reduced shock effect. That's the only 3 you need on those 3 flasks. It doesn't matter which one has what, and then you can roll the prefixes as much, or not. You can probably just beastcraft them all to serve you for this league start. And then your Conqueror's efficiency you get from Act 8 anyway, so that again, done. The only one in this build that might cause a problem is the replica Conqueror's efficiency. I had to wait until mid to end of day 2 and I picked mine up for about 45C. They don't really go down in price, they hold their value or go up depending on what builds are in the meta per league. So as soon as you see one that you can afford, grab it. On this version of the build we do not use an enlighten. Our skill setup here in our weapon is Toxic Rain, Ballista Totem, Vicious Prod, Void Manipulation. If you have a 5 link you add in Efficacy. In your helm you run a cast when damage taken setup. The level is depending on your life pool, so it's about a third of your life. I've set this one in this POB to 661. It could probably go up to level 4-ish depending, but again the POB's watching what I put in there, so it depends on your gear. Molten Shell, a highest to the level of the cast when damage taken. Phase run, a high as you can get it without making it misuse, because we've got a level cap of 59, so be aware of that when you're doing your gear and your gems. And then life tap. Toxic Rain, Vicious Prod, Mirage Archer, Void Manipulation. If you've got a 5 link, Efficacy. Get your Toxic Rain Ballista setup done in the 5 link over getting your self cast Toxic Rain done. And then your auras, in order of preference: Malevolence, Grace, Defiance Banner. Grace and Malevolence are kind of top one. You want those 2 in first, and then Defiance Banner, and then Determination is in here. We don't have enough mana in this setup to run it, so which is why it's not enabled, but it's there to level up. And then obviously the aforementioned gems in your Lionized Paws. So there we go. If you import the POB, be very careful on the configuration to make sure it's set to Act 5, not Act 10. If you put it on Act 10, it will screw up your resists. We don't kill Katava, so you've got to keep it on Act 5, and therefore your resist will be fine. Passive points, we always go for 2 passive points for the bandit reward, and the Pantheon, because we don't go to maps, we cannot kill the bosses and complete the Pantheon objectives, so we only get the first one. So based on that, we go for the big soul of Lunaris for the physical damage reduction, and we go for the soul of Abrath as a minor one for 60% less duration of ignite. Alternatively, you can go for the life flask one, which is Rislatha, to gain 3 charges every 3 seconds. I prefer going for Abrath for the ignite, but I don't think it matters because the ignite does such high damage. You normally have to hit your life flask anyway, depending on whether your utility flask can remove it or not. So that's that setup all done and dusted. Again, remember to all your gear and gems must not exceed level 59. So if you're buying your rare gear to craft, you want a low item level. If you buy a high item level, it's going to ride high level mods, which means you might waste crafting materials crafting the thing, because you might get an eye level 80 but required level 50, hit it with an essence, it'll roll a high level life modifier that requires level 70 to use. So don't do that. Let's move on. Now, if you are not running this as League Start, or you run it as League Start, keep it around, then get a secondary character, and then want to progress this character into end game heisting, then I have a build separate to that. Gear wise, staying on this character, the final respec, you do a massive respec to this tree. This tree is better in all ways. It's faster, it deals more damage, it's more defensive. However, it will cost you a fortune, depending on how much currency you can generate. Let us turn off all of these first. Oh, I'll have a look at that in a minute, or later, after I've finished doing this. I don't know any other way of doing this other than manually on each one, so we'll just go through it all. Turn on the DPS checks. There we go. This takes a little bit of a while. And finally, that one. There we go. So we're all up to date now. Okay, so this then provides that you've got 4 links everywhere, a 6-link bow, and a 6-link chest. So we look at the path of building. The tree here, it's the same ascendancy points here. The major object change really is we've got a 3-socket mana reservation node. You must have mortifying aspect, and you must have the 25% increased effect. The actual nodes on that are up to you. You can get resists if you want to make it a little bit easier. Out of my testing, the absolutely BIS roll would be mortifying aspect, 25% increased effect, intelligence or attributes, and chaos resist. They're expensive. I found one with chaos resist and mana regen on the trade 3.17 trade softcore. As of the date of this video, it was 2 exalted orbs, and that had chaos resist, mana regeneration, mortifying aspect, 25% increased effect, with the availability to use at level 59 without being corrupt. So, like I said, it can be expensive. A base 2 stat of this duel I picked up for 45C. I wasn't too particular. I just wanted to have it have 25% increased effect and mortifying aspect. I'm not even sure. I think I've got a cold res roll on it. I don't know. Excuse me. But you do want a 3 passive one because it's better. The 25% increased aspect affects the mana reservation and takes it to 7% mana res. Although it doesn't show in Path of Building, it does show it in game. So that's the actual tree. Moving into the skills now. A 6-link bow, so we add in conk effect. We've also got 20 quality gems everywhere. We've either qualityed themselves from all the GCPs we find in Heist, or we've brought the alt quality gems, and then either using scourers or orbs of regret de-leveled them and then got them to the required level. The non-ones you can just buy from trade, or level up on your secondary character, flip them and then level them up again, or just, like I said, use GCPs. Some of these alt quality gems will be extremely expensive. So again, custom damage taken setup, it's just the anomalous custom damage taken. In our body armor, we've added the conk effect. We've got anomalous toxic rain, anomalous efficacy. In our aura, we use the standard grace because the alt qualities for grace are bad. Anomalous defiance banner, which is really expensive. Anomalous malevolence, a divergent determination, that's another expensive one. And then finally, buffing our rain of arrows is our withering touch anomalous. They're all the alt quality gems I suggest, but again, like I said, everything's at 20% quality because this is serious end gaming Heist on this build. Items wise, we'll just switch over to the final setup. Ba-bing! There we go. Okay, so at this point then we are looking for your standard chaos damage over time bow with a movement speed implicit modifier, +1 socket level of socketed gems, chaos damage over time hunter modifier, so you need a hunter influence bow, a damage over time multiplier, multi-mod crafted 3 +2 level of socketed gems, which is an unveil craft, and then a damage over time modifier from the bench. That bow on average goes for upwards of 10 15, 20x. You can try and roll with one yourselves if you want to. That's multiple thousands of alteration orbs and augmentation and regals, or lots of fossil crafting and other meta crafting. So up to you. We still stick with the Hero's Bite. You could potentially go for a corrupted one that is restricted to your level, but the Hero's Bite just gives us too much stuff that we need. It gives us the life gain on hit by your attacks, it gives us the attack speed, and it gives us the stats. All very handy from a quiver. We stay with the Rat's Nest. You can't get a Labyrinth enchant on the helm because the minimum level for an enchant on a helm is 70, and we never hit that. 6-link Queen of the Forest for the increased movement speed and some resists. Hydra Scale Gauntlet with evasion, armor, life, and resist, preferably with a Chaos and Elemental resist craft to get our Chaos res up there, and a Edict of Inferno on kill from Merklab. Then we change our boots into Replica Lionel's Paws, because then that fires a level 5 Toxic Rain, which then benefits from all our damage over time buffs. And again, Merklab for the 8% increased speed if you haven't been hit recently. The amulet I'll come back to. We then go for 2 very nice rolls, the Hoop of All rings with augmented attribute modifiers, plus 20 on all. Ideally, these would be minimum of 25% increased damage, 25 to all attributes, 25% increased rarity of find, and 30% all resists. Depending on the meta and whether magic find is good in that particular league, these rings can be upwards of 5x. For a belt, we go for a Stygian Vice with life and mana modifiers, and we are looking for life, mana, resists, and armor. And then we're looking for a Searching Idol with attributes, max life, and damage over time while wielding a two-handed weapon. That is the ideal role. Flasks, Bountiful Sanctified Laugh of Allaying, which you can you'll have to craft probably yourself. Because of our low level, most people are crafting high level flasks, so you're probably better off crafting this one yourself. The prefix is optional. It's entirely in your choice which prefix you prefer. You might want to try and go for the more life recovered when on low life, or max charges, increased recovery. There's so many different ones, it's up to you. The important thing is to get your immunity to bleeding, the highest roll you can get for our level, which is the allaying. So you can't beastcraft it, because beastcrafting at the time of this video only does the low level ones. Moving on, we've got a Clinician's Quicksilver Flask of the Phoenix, all 20% qualityed, and this one has been, or you spam it with Enkindling Orbs to get the increased duration and no charges. That increased duration roll can go up to 100%. Again, try luck. On the other flask, we're looking for Clinicians, or whichever increased duration you can get on all 3. And then, as you can see here, reduced effective shock, freeze and chill, and ignite burning. The levels really are, and what suffixes you get on which flask it doesn't matter. As long as all 3 are covered by those 3 flasks, then that's fine. There's our small cluster jewel I was talking about earlier. 3 passive, 25% increased aspect, mortifying aspect for the chaos res, and the increased mana reservation efficiency. That's why we go for the malevolence one, because of the extra chaos resist. When you go into Heist, the laboratory has lots of mobs that do chaos damage. We don't have a great health pool, so getting that chaos resistance high is a kind of a priority if you've got the currency to do so. Our famed replica Conqueror's efficiency and normal Conqueror's efficiency. Now we come to the amulet. Because we're using the Hoop of Alls and we've got stats all over the place and resists all over the place, we don't actually need that much from an amulet. We're also not staying at level 60, despite my previous videos where I tested out going bouncing 60 to 61 with an Ashes of the Stars and various other level 60 gear and high level gems and stuff. It didn't work out. You didn't gain much from it. So it was, and the contracts you got were more varied, so you couldn't concentrate on the contracts that we wanted. So it was a lot easier just to go back down to 59, which limits our contract pool but gives us the contracts that we want, which meant we could no longer use Asheth of the Stars and other unique amulets that become available at that stage. So then I started searching around and I found the Simplex amulet, and this is absolutely BIS for us. The reason being is because you lose two affixes. Fine, we don't need that much anyway. 25% increased of explicit modifiers. So because we only need 4 things on here, which is how it's shown on screen at the moment, which is a damage over time multiplier, evasion rating, life and chaos resist, whatever you get on there is increased by 25%. That is amazing. The only problem with them is they are only available from blueprints, so the minimum eye level that I could find available to buy at the time I did mine was 71. They don't seem to really exist below that point. Certainly not on the trade searches I did. They may exist, they might just be rare, or people aren't picking them up because they don't think anyone's needing them. So what you've got to do is you've got to buy one from trade or farm one yourself. Then you need to scour it, and then you need to roll it yourself, and that can be proven quite difficult because these are the modifiers you need to aim for. Once you've got your Simplex amulet and you're happy with the 4 stats on there that you get, ideally the ones shown on screen, you then can use 3 silver oils and allocate your sovereignty, and you're off. You can then activate your determination aura and you're golden. So yeah, that's the gear. Now what I did do also is added on a note section, and this goes through. I've chosen colours that look pretty to me. Some of them I can't really tell because of my medical conditions. Hopefully you can, and it's not affecting anyone who's colourblind or have other visual impairments. Hopefully you can read through it all. But effectively we got Act 1, look for these sockets and links, and it tells you what you're looking for. 3 link green green green, 3 link green green red, a green socket, and then in your offhand 2 green sockets. And it tells you what gems to pick up from what at what point during the leveling up process. Now if you're not doing this as a league start, obviously you can just look at the skills you want to buy them from Lilith in your hideout, and you're done. Or unless you're buying alt qualities. The reason we've done this setup is because if you use puncture and chance to bleed, it is far easier to kill Brutus, because we don't have a lot of life. You kind of fire your caustic arrow with your Mirage Arch at him, and then you follow that up with your puncture and chance to bleed, and then just run away and he will slowly kill himself. Fire your caustic arrow as needed to refresh your Mirage Archer, and then yeah, just puncture away. And then if you add pierce to that punch and chance to bleed setup, when you're doing ledge, you kill all the goats because of pierce. So there we go, and then here you got what your links should look like at the end of Act 1. So Caustic Arrow, Mirage Archer, Onslaught, Toxic Rain, Blister Totem, Void Manipulation, Dash, and then in your offhand / off sockets, not active, Precision, Void Manipulation and Toxic Rain. Precision is there to level up and then sell at some point at a high level, whether you sell it on a high level on this character, or whether you slap it with some GCPs and then sell it at level 1 to make some currency because you're grinding GCPs from Heist, or take it onto your secondary character, level it up, flip it, level it up to 2020 and sell it. It's there. As we go through the acts, there are various points where there are no gems for us to take, so you can either not take anything, or you could just take a gem for later use / start to trade. So if you're doing a league start and you know what secondary character you want to build, just take a gem that's going to be available for that character, or alternatively just take it for flipping and selling. At a point in Act 2, when you've got to go back to Act 1 to hand in that quest for your passive point, at that point you can then do the Onyx Amulet. recipe, which is explained here, and you buy your Rain of Arrows gem, ready for a GCP for your Here Is Buy It recipe. As we go further down, you got all the things here, and again here, if you're in Trade League at level 24, you can pick up your Hope of All rings. Will need 2 of them, and again at Trade League at level 42, you can pick up your first Lionized Paws. Whether you pick up a replica one because it's halfway through the league, or you're doing league start and it's a normal one. At the time you get to Act 6, as I was saying earlier in the video, you should be running 4 links, maybe a 5th link, a 5 link on your bow or body armor, or everything should be 4 links. Use Baylor Mage's filters. He highlights 4 links and 3 links early in game, so you cannot miss them if they drop on the floor. Every time I have a character, I've got 4 links everywhere by the time I get to Act 6, so there's no reason you shouldn't have either. At this point then, you're also buying gems from the vendor, from Lilith. So if you're doing league start, I know it's quicker to do it a different way, but on a league start for this build, you want to be going to complete her Lilith's quest first to open up the gems, so you can buy all your missing gems if you have the currency. You then set up your gear like this for all of your links. And then if you've got a 5 link, you want to be looking for the efficacy gems first, and then your concentrated effect or conk effect gems are added last once you've got your 2 6 links. And then from trade, there's other notes. So at level 54, you can wear the rat's nest. Oops, rat's next. Whoopsie daisy. Let's just clear that. There we go, rat's nest. And then ideas of what to get. And here is the simplex amulet crafting modifier with a helpful link to Craft of Exile. What's it called? I've forgotten. Whoops, let me just go and have a look at my bookmark. Yeah, Craft of Exile. Sorry about that. This link will take you to a pre-done Craft of Exile. Again, remember, you can only use modifiers at level 59, so you want to buy the lowest eye level simplex amulet you can find on the market, unless you're getting one yourself from Blueprints, and then craft it. This has got all the modifiers preset and is set up for fossil crafting, and then whichever what resonators you've got access to, then you can use the relevant number of gems, so that'll take you there. And then, like I put down right down here, if you want to go big on this build, you can buy the alt quality gems, and it lists all the alt quality gems you're gonna need. So that's it then. That is the path of building and all the testing done. Ta-da! There we go. And the character is my version of this character is now on screen with its MTX. So I followed my thing. I'm wearing the Queen of Ice with the 2 blue gems, Rat's Nest, Here Is Buy, Quill Range 6 linked. These are my gloves I brought from trade and rolled myself. 2 quite nice Hoop of Alls. I haven't qualified them yet because I don't need to. I've got my stats done. My replica Lionized Paws I got yesterday. I brought them from trade. No, I didn't. Sorry, I found them in a blueprint. My bad. A very nice Digivice. It has got a maximum energy shield roll rather than armor. I can't be bothered to change it. And my Hypnotic Eye Jaw. It hasn't got all attributes, but you know what? 8 strength and intelligence is what I needed, so it'll do. I'm missing out on 8 decks. It's a minor evasion buff and therefore movement speed buff because of Queen of the Forest. This is my simplex amulet I did myself. I used fossils. I used a 2-socket resonator. Didn't get anything from there, so I went down to a 1-socket resonator with aberrant fossils and hit it in about 5. So the rolls aren't that great. So we've got a tier 3 increased evasion rating, tier 4 life, tier 5 damage over time, but a tier 2 chaos res. And I didn't want to roll over that, so I kept it. As you can see there, it does say 53 life on the tier, but then if I take off alt, it goes up to 66 because of the 25% increased modifier. And I think this amulet is definitely the way to go when you've got a currency to buy one. It doesn't matter what the rolls are on it. We're looking for item level. This one's an item level 72. I never once rolled modifiers above this character's level because I did it on this character. If you're using a high level character, that might be different. I don't know. Oh, that's the SA streamer Sniz. Great streamer. Right, let's do a contract, shall we? I've gone back down to level 59 after completing my chaos recipe run, which is why my chaos recipe box is empty. For more on chaos recipe tool, check the video on the card. Let's find what we've got. Lockpicking, brute force or demo. No, brute force. Brute force. Right, let's pop to the row carga. Off we go. Wait for it to open. So this is the tunnels. This is why we need another reason for staying Raider is for spell suppression. It is the easiest ascendancy to get spell suppression on, and we do need it for these type of I call them mini maps, heists. So activate our phase run through, pop open this one. It's not going to show much loot because I haven't reset the filter, so it's not going to show all the chaos recipe filter bits. I don't really want to because I'm going to be doing some high level heisting. So I drop the totem there, kill the guards. We don't open the big one because Tibbs can open it after we set off the alarm. So we go round, go for the little one. There it is. Oh, hey, here is bite. They sell for about 5C, by the way, on League Start. So if you drop one or you've got enough currency to make loads, do it. That's some more uniques. That's about the only thing that's probably going to show on this filter is uniques. There we go, and some small currency setups. I'm running out of alert. Never set the alarm off. Ooh, slither, look how close that is. Let's go. Make sure as well that you've got a right filter. Never sync still only shows rare NPC gear for heist. I don't know why. And you want to set that to any, or not any. You want to set it to normal to rare. So you get ones that aren't magic, so you can roll them yourself. Or if you're going to be doing high level heisting later, a basic cloak has a 2% reduction in alert, and you'll be surprised how much that makes a difference. Don't worry about no sound. I play Path of Exile without sound, so it's not a problem with your audio. It is me choosing not to play it. Nothing out of that one, didn't think it would be, so we just race back, pick that up, activate phase run, activate Quicksilver Flask, and run. Wait for phase run to come off cooldown. There we go. We don't get that one. We wait for the big. Oh, did we not open that one? Whoopsie daisy. Supposed to have opened that before I set the alarm off. Otherwise, you end up with this mess. Drop your totems around the two vents here. So for the robots, they come up. Make sure you've got 3 and pick up the. I want chromes. I don't normally press Alt in Heist, but I am desperately low of chromes after my attempts to roll the Queen of the Forest. I'm currently wearing for my high level heister, and that needs a Queen of the Forest with 3 red sockets. Yeah, pain in the bum. Oh, why have they come up for leveling up? I thought I was level 59. I am. So why have they come up to level? Wow. Okay. I don't know why they've come up to level. They shouldn't be, but never mind. We'll sort that out in a minute. Right, come on. I've got frozen and chilled there. Sometimes it's better not to roll your flasks for heist and to do them manually, so you can have them go off when you need to. Nice. And a synth bow, probably not any good because it's low level. Out. There we go. Right. Level 58. Next level requires level 58. Okay. They're just low levels. 58. Not sure what happened there. I must have de-leveled them by mistake or something. Come on, let me out. Why let me out? Come on. There we go. Yep. bit of lag. And there we go. That's how we do it. Let's just stash all this stuff. Oh no, don't want to do that. Do that, thank you. See if we've got anything tasty. Probably not. Oh, that's just a chrome. What's that one? Actually, bleh. Is it a perfect? One off. 99 out of 100. Oh. 20, 49, no. 8, no. 17. No, that's no good. No, that's not worth a val, and that's just be sold anyway for sockets anyway, right? So there we go. If all of this lot had dropped on League Start, easily looking at least 50 chaos there, easily, if that was a day one drop. Alas, we are not on day one, and I forgot to sell the artifact. There we go. Bam. Just go back to the hideout. So there you go. That is the full path of building. All my testing is done for this particular character. I do have a higher level heister that I'm still testing out. That is sat there. It's level 83 at the moment. Done the last 15 odd levels in Heist. I'm still testing that one out, and I still need a 6-link chest. I haven't got it yet, so I don't really want to finish that off until I get 6-link. If I can generate any more currency, because I currently have very little. Ideally I need another 6-link Queen of the Forest to try and colour, or I need a couple of X to buy a couple of thousand jewelers, excuse me, and try and do it myself, and then more X to then fuse it and 6-link it. So we see what happens. I spent another 5 plus X on that character buying chromes, harvest crafts, a few jewelers and orbs of fusings to try and get that lead chest linked for that one, but that's a different video. I know this video has been quite long. I hope you enjoyed it and hope it's given you enough information. Any suggestions, etc., please comment below, and I'll see you in the next one. If my mouse goes actually over to the right screen, there it is. Bad. There we go. See you in the next one.